Okay. Yeah, I'm like super excited, to be partnering with all of you today for the next 45 minutes. It's a very diverse panel of both B2B and B2C industry CX leaders here. So super excited about it. I just overnight I removed the word Gen AI and I've just kept it to AI because I think people are moving the. I was just talking to the panelists here some time back. Every 3 months there's a new generation of AI that comes in. So Gen AI probably is now the past generation, and we're moving towards agentic and multimodal AI. So the whole paradigm of AI is rapidly transforming. So I'm going to spend the next 45 minutes really talking about how this landscape is transforming and get perspectives from all of the leaders here about how are they thinking about deploying AI within their organizations, which is both autonomous AI as well as human-assisted AI technologies. And we'll also hear some of the use cases as well that they're driving. So that's what we're going to do for the next 45 minutes. But to get started, I thought we'll start off with a little bit of an icebreaker question, to all of you, keeping things a little light. So let's start off with you, Shivani, and then we'll go around, everybody else, right? So, if AI was a superhero, dedicated to customer service, what do you think would be the superpower that it would have?
So for us, I think it would be, infinite memory. That is more important because it would help us, retargeting the previous purchase that the customer has done, and it would help us, increasing in terms of the revenue and much more things if we can just recall the previous order that the customer has placed.
Okay, memory.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Okay.
I think for us, scalability is the superpower.
Scalability.
Now you have that person with you who never sleeps. Right, so it's available 24/7.
24/7.
Customers, so you don't have to worry that my agent is not there who will handle the customers. So now you have someone taking care of your customers 24/7.
So availability, should I call it availability?
Availability and scalability.
Scalability, perfect, wonderful.
So Siddarth, it's an interesting one. So you mentioned about superheroes, and when I see about hero, for us hero is something which we have bought and seen into the Bollywood movies, right?
Yep.
Hero is somebody who is coming on the right time at the right place.
Yes.
And fixing the things. So imagine you are on a highway and you are fixing your car and you are in a panic mode, and somebody like a person coming in a Krish dress and fixing your car, right? That's the hero. And that's a real example. Even Tesla fixed their technical bugs over OTA. The another example of an hero. So for me, it's more about speed.
Okay.
It's about service on time.
Perfect.
Second is that example, the another example, the same trend from the Bollywood. Hero is just fighting with 8 to 10 people.
Yes.
And then at the end, he's the winner.
Yeah.
The same way the AI is doing a multitask for us, predicting, handling customers, handling n number of queries at a time, and giving you the analytics. So and the another angle that comes, it's about, so for me, it's multitasking that an AI can handle for us.
Perfect.
Entire customer lifecycle, they are available. The last important thing is that the intervention of humans out there is that, like the movie Robo, either you insert a blue chip or red chip, that has to be defined by the humans.
Perfect.
To get the maximum output from the AI machines. That's all.
Wonderful.
So for us, or for me, I would say predictive personalization.
Okay.
I know personalization is the buzzword and is something that we all CX people thrive to do for our customers. But I think with the power of AI, the world is moving towards the predictive personalization examples, because in the attempt to do personalization, a lot of time these are very rule-driven things in the company, which can be a little irritant and a lot of push, which the customer might not even need.
Right.
But that's where I feel that AI can actually change the landscape by saying whether this is actually needed. It is not rule-driven that I have to do this on every call or not.
Right.
But for example, like since my current industry is travel, for example, if somebody is booking a hotel with a small baby, the AI is prompting that, hey, I see that you have booked a hotel room with a baby. Would you like me to check with hotel if they can provide a free crib or not?
Absolutely.
You know, so it's limitless. And it may and may not be applicable to everybody or anybody. If there is a child who's like 12-year-old, crib is not needed, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, you know, these are the examples that I see that the predictive personalization is something is getting kind of expected by the customers also, because they are also being seeing the power of AI.
Yeah.
And the second bit is what I feel is how AI, and be it agentic AI or, you know, multiple things are happening in the area of AI, how it can help companies to actually know or bring, basis the information, take the right decision. Because
Perfect.
most often it is driven by the data points, this is high, just work on something. But there are a lot which is happening below which we lose focus on. So I do feel that in terms of analytics and in terms of insights, AI can do wonders.
Perfect. Wonderful. I love that perspective of predictive personalization. Please go ahead.
All right, probably I'll talk about AI as a customer, not as a customer service professional. So these are some of the buzzwords which I really want, which I would rather love to have when I interact with any platform. The first one is reasoning. Second one is accuracy. The third one is, of course, productivity. And the fourth one is proactiveness. So these are the four buzzwords probably when I interact with any platform, when I decide to make a purchase or when I decide to take a service. And if I have a trouble or if I have to really take a decision based that which product to take and which not to take.
Right.
I think these are some of the things that I look forward to as a customer, and probably these are some of the things when we go back and check our data, our insights, our customer behavior. I think these are some of the things even our customers want.
Sure.
So just to keep it simple, I think this 4 buzzwords is something which I really look forward, not for myself, but I think I look forward for my customers as well.
We'll talk about how you're going to be implementing those 4 buzzwords.
Absolutely, we will.
I think we have already been talked about that AI is a superhero, but I would be thinking that the superpower would be when AI can resolve the issue in 0.2 seconds. It involves the printer setup.
Yeah.
Right. And I think it is working like a captain. And the superpower would be when the language barrier will be resolved. So for the current situation, if I talk about that as an BeatO, if somebody who is coming from Kerala, then everything is starting from the English or Hindi only. So the language barrier path will be resolved, then I think that would be the superpower for the set.
Perfect. Wonderful.
Adding to all what people have said already, the seamlessness of shifting from the bot to the person, and think that there are logics behind it.
Right.
More into emotions and making that a lot more seamless, adding on to all of what the other co-panelists have said will be the superpower for me.
Sure. Now, I'll probably end this, from giving you my perspective. I think the one superpower that I'm expecting AI for me is to basically solve my problem, resolution, right? I mean, at the end of the day, what matters in customer service is resolution, right? I don't care if you take 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, but just solve my problem. Right? I mean, that's what I look at it. So yeah. So we'll move on, and I'll start with you, Krishna. A question to you too. I mean, there are 2 things, right? We're talking about from an AI perspective, which are very important. One is you also said availability, right? 24/7 available. 24/7 from a customer service perspective. The second very important piece where we're headed towards is personalization. Right? So I think personalization is very, very important to drive contextually relevant responses, right, to your customers. So how within your organization, how are you really thinking of personalization, using AI to drive personalization and contextually relevant responses for your customers?
Right, Siddarth. So for us, like it's, firstly, you talked about 24/7. I already said is the superpower that we have.
Yeah.
You can scale without scaling your human manpower team, right? And the second, when we talk about personalization, I think it's a very, very different thing, like cliche we can say, that you need to understand what your customers what are their requirements, right? So when we looked at introducing AI to solve some of the problems that we had, so for us, like delivery timelines, every customer expect faster delivery and on-time delivery, and if we cannot fulfill that, they need to be updated about that. So that's where we introduced AI along with the prediction and all, that whenever we see that there is a order which is going to be delayed, so we have made this system that it can predict if the order is going to be delayed or not. If it gets delayed, we will we'll revise the expected delivery timeline. So that gives the update to the customer, and we send a personalized notification to the customer that, hey, your order is somehow getting
proactively
delayed. That's proactive.
Also going out there.
Yes, so that's how we do personalization, like in terms of not just a standard message to the customer that your order is getting delayed. That's not what customers want. What they want to know is like why it's delayed and when am I going to get it now.
Right.
So that kind of prediction that we do, that okay, this order is going to get delayed for another 2 days and these are the reasons.
Right.
Could be stuck in logistics, could be stuck in manufacturing, wherever it is. So that kind of information goes to the customer with a personalized note that gives customer more confidence. Okay, this is fine. So now I know why it's delayed and when am I going to get it. So that expectation also you need to set. So that's how we do the personalization, and I would say, as Garima also said that for the hotel example, so now personalization is not the thing of like giving name to the customer, giving out customers.
It's beyond just calling out the name.
It's beyond it. I would say it's more of emotional intelligence now, not just personalization, because you need to understand customers' emotions and then work around those things. So that is one of the things that we have taken care of. The other part that we did, we use this prediction and predictive AIs and how do we personalize customer experience is, we had problems with sizing, right? Every e-commerce company is dealing with clothing will always have that, right? So we identified that, okay, sizing, our NPS for sizing was in minus, score of minus, right? 30. So we understood, we tried to get to the customers, we invited few of the customers with different body types, weight and height, and based on that we have designed a sizing engine, we call. So now that personalizes the recommendation, size recommendation. So now you just need to fill your weight and your height and your age, and the engine will give you a recommendation.
Got it.
So that solves a lot of problem, and our NPS for sizing increased to plus 40 score. So that's a huge achievement, right? So how you personalize, how you understand customer pain points and solve through these technologies. So for me, it's more of emotional intelligence, just talking about like personalization.
Right. No, that's a very, very interesting use case, right? Because a customer may not feel like doing all of this stuff in store or, in front of a human agent, right? It's very personal. Right, so you're pretty much using technology to input all of your size and your details and things like that. It's showing you giving you a personalized recommendation. So which is a really interesting use case. So thank you for that. Shivani, anything you would like to add from a personalization?
I would just like to add in what Krishna has just said. So similarly, even I'm coming from a clothing brand, that too, a very intimate, it's a lingerie brand basically.
Yes.
So with us as well, it is, very important, sorry, that we get into, very personal with the customer.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
For us as well, we have a size chart and, a size, fit test that I would call. A fit test calculator on a site which would help the customer to share the body dimensions, and then you can get onto the exact size rather than measuring with the help of the measuring tape, because that was like old ages that we used to do. So now you can just add in your body dimensions and it would give you the exact size that you can have. And in terms of personalization, I would also like to add that we use a lot of customer profiling is that we do within Clovia. Like, when it comes to calls, we, answer calls by taking the customer's name. So at least, that would make the customer feel that you are talking to the right person. You have my history. So we do, a lot of customer profiling that has helped us in many ways in terms of, building good customers, good database with us.
Got it. Wonderful. I mean, I love both the examples, and I think it's really important in your industries where the product is very personal, right? So great. We'll move on. It's while there are a lot of research. There's a lot of research to say that by 2029, 80% of customer interactions are going to be autonomous. It's all going to be driven by agents. But still, there's going to be 20% of human element, right? Human. It's not. We are not eliminating humans. We are working. AI is going to be working with humans, and that's 20%, which is the prediction in 2029. That's still going to be human assisted. So I'll start with Ravi here. From your perspective, at what kind of scenarios do you think a chatbot or an AI agent should pretty much escalate to a human agent or start collaborating with a human agent? You come from a B2B side, so all of it, it can't be autonomous, right? There's a lot of human element that's going to happen there. So how are you really thinking about this whole chatbot and the human assisted experience working in tandem with each other?
So, Siddarth, if I talk about service, right? That's an important element. So here I'm not talking about a machine or a human being.
Yeah.
Service is something which, when you deliver a product, it's very important. Service defines whether the customer will be there with you, whether you can bring the loyalty from him, or he can give you more business. So it's all about timing, right? And timing is, like, for example, if I talk about our industry, imagine somebody who is into a share market and his network is down for a few hours. And he has lost that time. He has not even lost that time, he has lost that money.
Yeah.
In a similar way, we provide the connectivity to many of the hospitals. You can imagine an online operation is going on for a patient and you have a connectivity impact. So it is a life-saving thing. So what I'm saying, it's all of service is equal to timing for me. So it's very, very important that you bring these machines into picture. However, the human touch you cannot ignore. So it is not about AI versus human.
Yes.
It is AI and humans.
Yes.
So it's a blend, it's the combination that we need to create. So if I talk about certain scenarios, let's see an example of scenarios, when you have to do your routine job, a simple thing that's coming up, you can use your machines. But when the things come complex, when maybe you have given a multi-product to a customer, maybe this is a multi-product is there, multi-geography he is using this project, and then you see his bill, it's complicated. You need humans in between. So if I just give few examples out here, one is that when you see a negative emotions coming up during the interaction with a bot or maybe a human bot, you can see a trigger coming up.
Yes.
Now this needs a human.
Yes.
When you see irritation or frustration coming up from the customer, maybe the kind of language, word, or the voice he's using, that comes up. Second, when you're dealing with the complex scenario like the billing I told, so bill may be simple for a B2C customer, but for a B2B, it's highly complex because you have GST issues, you have, I would say, other taxation issues that attach to the bill. So let a human intervene while you interact with the chat. Third comes the regulatory piece, or maybe somewhere you need to secure the data for the customer, or maybe something comes like a legal terms. So you may not be very comfortable interacting with the machine. So you need to personalize during that time. Fourth comes when you are doing a technical troubleshoot. Let's see, for example, your machine is trained to troubleshoot 5 scenarios or 10 scenarios. When the 11th scenario comes, your machine start interacting, start to learn during that scenario. That may not be the right time because you're losing on the time. As I mentioned, timing is something which is very important in the service. And fourth is that we have the diverse age group in India. We have diverse geographies out there. And it's very, very important that we segment it in the right way. For example, for my VIP customers or for my high ARPU customer, I may not introduce a machine in the front go. Probably I can give a personalized service, which that means I know the name of the customer, I know his industry, I know what kind of business he is, and accordingly I can deliver the service. That's the customization. So that's what I think about where the human should intervene. And the best part is when and how. That's very, very important piece in this. How, and the answer lies in this machine only. So when you are interacting with a chatbot, let's say it's a simple example, which is the most preferred mode in nowadays. So your machine can easily trigger that there's a multi-interactions are happening, there's a repeat interactions are happening, and it can simply say, hey, Mr. Customer, I'm not able to resolve it. I'm transferring you to my subject matter expert. That's how the human intervenes. Or there's an area when you identify these kind of things are happening repeatedly. an indicator can come through the machine, sir. Hey, Mr. Customer, would you like to speak to our expert out there?
Yes.
Or I would like to arrange a call back to you.
Right.
So this machine can only help you.
Exactly.
So the answer lies within the machine itself.
Yes.
How you train your machine, how you train your robot.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think I loved some of the pieces around.
Yeah.
And the machine basically doing the first level of interaction, identifying the intent. If it's very negative intent, it pretty much goes and gets to the human assist, right? And a human can come on to the to the call or and assist the customer, right? So I think that's an important piece. Just that's a great perspective from a B2B side. Anything you'd like to add from a B2C side that you're seeing, Writuparna or me too? From an escalation, because I mean here you're dealing with a lot of volumes, right? From B2C perspective, there are a lot of volumes that you're dealing with, right? How does that escalation happen from AI to the human agent?
What happens is when a customer is interacting with our AI tools, they don't interact thinking that they are actually interacting with the AI tools. They interact because they would want that support from us.
Right.
As an organization, they would expect that I would get that instant support. I would get those instant answers, those instant resolutions, which are meaningful resolutions.
Right.
Just not for the sake of, replying to them. What becomes the delimiter, or I would say what becomes the most important element there is that the what and how. Is your chatbots, for example, or your IVRs, for example, if they are AI powered, are they able to identify the exact ask of the customer?
Sure.
Are they able to respond? What exactly? That is where reasoning actually comes into the place.
Sure.
So currently, if you see most of the AIs that we are actually, we have developed, mostly, I would not say every industry, most of the industry, they are pretty much logic, rule, input and output based.
Yes.
But it's very, very important at some point in time when we look at our future trends, when we look at our future innovations, that is the AI equipped enough to handle the reasoning as well. If the AI is equipped enough to handle the reasoning as well, I think that is the juncture where the blend of AI and human comes into the play.
Sure.
So I completely agree that blend of AI and human will always be true for all of us here.
Sure.
And identifying that blend, being able to develop that blend, being able to win over that blend is going to be the biggest challenge in our hand.
Sure. Wonderful. Thank you. We'll move on. This is to Ankit. It's AI, obviously, it's all about moving towards building that human touch, right? Because, as I said, we're moving from basically AI, spitting out input, output, having that empathy and human touch, right? So how are you really thinking about it within your organization?
Yes, definitely that we were talking about that the human touch should be there. So in my view, I think ultimately AI is not replacing the human, but it is helping to the human. It is helping to increase the productivity. It is helping to resolve the customer experience fast. Because in today's scenario, every patient, like if I talk about for the BeatO, in the first hand, we understand and we input the basic metrics that what kind of scenario, what kind of queries that they are coming.
Sure.
So we are taking the help of the AI, we are sending the reminders, we are sending the BG reminders that how you take the reading, when you take the reading. And most importantly, if I talk about for the old age people that they don't know, they used to forget that how and when to take the medications.
Right.
We are taking the help to send these kind of nudges to the patients. But whenever somebody who is having any frustration, like the medication is not working.
Right.
And if I talk about the reading variation is there.
Right.
Because this is the quite important in terms of the sugar reading device.
Yes.
Then chatbot is quite enough to transfer the chat to the diabetes educator. So that somebody can directly call to the patient and then understand that, yes, sir, you are facing this issue. And then this is the thing.
Oh, that's very interesting. So then that part is managed by the human.
Yeah. So the tech is there along with the human. So human and tech both are working together.
Yeah, I love this. The hospital, the life sciences use case. It's pretty interesting. Thank you for that. We'll move to the next section now. It's all about when you're implementing a lot of these AI programs, right? It's all about what is the ROI going to look like? What kind of metrics are you going to be measuring for implementing implementing AI, etc. So, I'll start with, Meetu here. So as a CX leader, within Sleepwell, what are some of the key KPIs do you really look at to measure the success of an AI program for CX?
So you have to look at the KPIs based on the use case that you are looking at, working on. But some of the most common KPIs that we look at is the volume of transaction or requests that are happening on that on the particular bot, on that use case. What is it as a percentage of delta of total requests? So how much of the uptake is there on the bot? And again, the KPIs are also driven by what stage of the journey in terms of the bot are you at. At early stage, the uptake is very, very important. Completion rate is very important. What is the user satisfaction rate on the particular bot? Retention rate, so I kind of call it a curve to say what is the completion rate, what is the user satisfaction rate, retention and resolution rates on that, what is the failure rate and the bounce off rate, and for V is volume and E is the engagement rate. So how much time are users spending on the particular bot, and then what is the handoff from bot to the people. So these are some of the matrices, but again, it also depends on the stage that you are in. And as we go further, as the project matures, then obviously the return on investment to say this is what we've spent on it, and what is the impact. So all of those things also become very, very important in.
So just to add to that, do you also take a specific target saying these are the 2 or 3 metrics I will move from X to Y using AI?
So when we started, and again, it depends on the kind of use case that you're looking at. So for example, if it was order confirmation or if it was warranty registration, we have like in the project plan planned out milestones to say 10, 20, 30% by end of 3 months, you should be reaching this, and that is a factor of a lot of other things. But yes, you start with KPIs, see how you're doing, and course correct as you go along.
Sure. Anybody else would like to add? Please, go ahead.
Okay, so in my opinion, what Meetu said is correct, like we have to measure all the metrics. But more importantly, what we look at for the success of any AI projects that we do is what is the impact that is bringing for the customers, for the business, and for the team. So impact is more important for us, like whether beyond the metrics itself, that what kind of impact it's driving. So and how we are reducing the pain of the customers and how we are ensuring the DSATs are reduced, right? So it's not just about always about looking at the speed or about looking at one of the metrics or 2 of the metrics, but it's more of how we are reducing the DSATs. Like customer dissatisfaction should be reduced, because that's the key metric that one customer reduction, DSAT reduction increase your 3 times revenue.
Absolutely.
So that's something that we look forward to when we analyze any success metrics for any of the AI programs.
No, I love that, right? I mean, this is a great metric, reducing customer dissatisfaction. And I mean, if you're going to do that, you're going to have happier customers. You're going to have customers who are going to be coming back to you. You will have higher customer retention, and end of the day, higher revenue, right? So it's all about driving revenue impact. I love that piece. Thank you. Thanks for that. And the next phase is, it's not about just ROI, it's about, pitching to the, as CX leaders, we are all pitching all the time to get money for AI investments. So I will ask Garima a very tough question. So how do you really look at, pitching the value of AI investments, to your CEO and the board?
See, I always anchor these discussions around 3 pillars. The first is the speed, the second is sustainability, and a byproduct, which is savings. This is how I pitch. Because what we need to also understand that we cannot keep saying that, oh yeah, AI is good, it's interesting, and I mean, it's changing the world, but in the company, we will think about it. That approach doesn't fly, and that's where, as a CX custodian, I always, this is a tough discussion. But then I start with the point that AI is not a cost center. It's actually a force multiplier, or it's a growth engine, because it pays for itself over the period of time. And what we also need to realize that AI is not only about, just bringing a chat as an interface. As we see every now and then, like, when the initial time of AI started, it was all chat, then it went to voice, then it has went to so good that you cannot identify if it's a human or it's a bot. The logic, the reasoning that it is able to give and do is amazing. And the landscape is changing, not in months, but actually in days. We started with GPT. Now, you all can count like literally 10, 15 models that you might be using. Perplexity for your research and for general discussions, your chat GPTs, and then the Claudes for analysis, so much so. So usually the discussions are around this, but yeah, good to have discussion, but it has to be structured well. Because it's such an interesting thing that everybody wants to do it. Everybody wants to jump, get into that boat. But then it is important to figure out how AI is going to change, going to move the needle rather than just making some incremental changes. Because, it's like you walk into a nice shop and you want to buy everything. That can't fly. So understanding and choosing the use cases are very, very important. That is the beginning of a conversation. Why this use case and why we are dropping the other use case. That why is very important. After that why, it is also important to show what is the landscape now, and then the vision, how it is going to change that use case. How is it going to change that experience? That is another thing. And definitely, can't be ignored that we will do something and it will change something. Then it has to be backed with the data points, the matrix that it is going to impact. And usually at a CXO's level, if I go and say, the FRT will increase, yes, it is good, but then but then so that's where this is the responsibility of the CX person to go and say, the FRT has X strong correlation to your NPS, to your churn, to your daily active user, which is a North Star matrix for the company. Then it rings the bell.
Absolutely.
So it is very important to show those, that vision. What is it going to move as needle? What matrix at a org level it is going to change? And last but not the least, it is also important to call out the risk, because end of the day, it is machine. And, when you are building the whole AI architecture, it is also important to build the boundaries into that. So it can flip either side. So calling out the risk so that everybody is aware about it, so that a BCP plans can be, thought through, is equally important.
Absolutely.
This is how I anchor my discussions, and so far, so been successful. And last, I would also like to say it is also the matter of the excos, how they think about it. And the great thing is, across the industries, the people at the CXO level are also understanding that they cannot now shy away from this new technology. They have to adapt it.
Absolutely. No, that's wonderful. I think a couple of takeaways for me is, the force multiplier piece, and that's going to be super critical, right? How are we going to pitch the value of AI as a force multiplier to the business, driving revenue impact, and as you rightly said, some of these metrics like FRTs and things like that are given, right? I mean, it's like, okay, so what? Let's move beyond it. What's the real revenue impact? So I think that's the way we actually position it. Anything you'd like to add, Shivani? Anybody else? Anything you'd like to add?
I picked up what Garima was saying is that when you pitching this particular machines or AI, the new technologies to CXs and all, so it's very important to understand that yes, they are handling scale and they are capable of handling the scales and the volume. The way you grow your business, you cannot continuously add the manpower at the back end. So A is that while pitching up, so you always show a blend between the volume handling and personalizations to the humans. Second important part, the kind of data and the intelligence these machines are generating, storing, saving, and analyzing, it helps us to move from a reactive customer service to proactive.
Yes.
We have the predictive analysis that is coming. We have the information coming up that which customer is more loyal to me, which customer is prone to go out of my network, which customer can give me more business, in which geography he is in. Is new business coming to him, yes or no? Can I add more business? That kind of a data, if you are trying to produce in front of your CXOs, in front of CEOs, is very, very important for them to analyze this. And I think this sensitivity towards this, what Garima has said the last line, yes, they know they cannot shy away from these technologies because this is an important part of the service.
Yes.
And the kind of intelligence it is bringing for the intelligence, we can build up on that. It can impact your sales, it can impact your marketing, it can impact your entire business.
Sure. Go ahead, Krishna. Yeah.
So what Garima and Ravi said is true. Like we also pitch the same way. But what most important thing for the CFOs and CEO is they want to see what's the dollar value that they are looking for, like whether it's in saving or impact or more revenue. That's what they want to see. So our pitch is always like that what dollar value you're saving or what impact you're bringing on the revenue. So to sum up what they said is true. That's how you pitch, and then you add the dollar value to that. So that makes more sense to the CEOs and CFO. They like to look at the dollars.
Sure. No, I think, this is something from my, personal experience as well, right? A CFO always cares about cost, right? Now, how you deflect that conversation towards revenue to the CFO and excite him with the revenue, right? So, so that's the classic game that you play.
Yeah.
Okay, I hope there are no CFOs in the room here. Okay, we'll move on to the next section, right? So, I mean, driving an AI program is not just about, it's not a one-man show, it's not just a CX team, right? AI program involves a lot of other cross-functional teams. It involves your IT team, your CIO organization, your AI team, your chief digital officer, right? All of that. It's a team sport, if I may, use that word. So just would love to get a perspective. Maybe it'll start with you, Meetu, around how do you really look at convincing all the other stakeholders across the organization to drive some of these AI initiatives, and how are you collaborating between all the other groups within the organization?
Yeah. So obviously, this is a change is not just, like you said, it's not within customer services. It is very, very interrelated. And it's really important to bring the other teams and what will be the impact on them and how does it position for the organization right at the outset. So my personal view is that it's very important to have the top leadership commitment to it to start with. And then when you do the scoping of it, take inputs from various different departments. Obviously, IT plays a very, very key role in terms of what your current infrastructure is, how the data is going to move. And so the data integration, UAT, at all of these stages, you definitely need the IT input. And one of the things that and obviously the front-facing teams, as you go along, they need to be kept informed as you launch this. Marketing has a very, very key role to play in it as well, because that's where your bots, etc., are going to sit in terms of the website, the campaigns, how are you going to promote it, because it will be successful, and the uptake is one of the key metrics as well. And that is what we've committed to the senior leadership, that this will happen. So taking them along is very, very important, and keeping them excited about it, informed, consulted. So you've got to have your matrix very, very clearly well defined to say who needs to be informed, who needs to be consulted, who needs to contribute to it, what are the roles and responsibilities. The clearer we are at the outset, the better the implementation will be, and that's my experience.
Sure. So who would, from your perspective, like within your organization, how would like the decision making, the final decision making, how does that happen for an AI program?
So, because I'm reporting directly into the chief executive officer, so that's where the whole...
At that level, it's pretty much with the CEO at your CEO level.
Yes.
So that's very interesting. It's good to know
Yeah.
that. So some of these programs are actually sold and pitched and driven at the CEO level. That's very good to know. Yeah. Anybody else would like to add how you? Yeah. Go ahead, Garima.
Actually, now a lot of companies are crafting a separate team just for the AI transformation also. And usually these are being sponsored by the CXOs because, a lot of time understanding or acknowledging AI is one thing, but how to implement it, because when you go to a tech person can give you a solution in two ways. Let's write a code and automate it in this way, or use an AI. These are two different things altogether when it comes to AI implementation, because the architecture and everything is very, very complicated.
Yes.
So technically, usually the tech people are prone to doing the coding to just automate that bit. And that's where a lot of time there is a conflict, because the mind share hasn't changed, even though we talk about it a lot in the real life scenarios.
Right.
And that is the reason a lot of companies are building these AI transformation teams led by the business owners and all to implement it seamlessly, which cut through all the functions in the company to make it agile, and go to market is becoming faster.
Yeah. I think it's a matter of time when most of these organizations would have like a chief AI officer, right? So it's just a matter of time. Okay, that's great. Anything, Writuparna, from your end you'd like to add on?
So basically, while we were talking about a lot of things around AI, what we have been doing, what each organization have been really pursuing when it comes to AI, but if I really have to look at that, where we are right now and what is the stage that we are getting into, that's more of if we call our future trends or our future for AI. I think what we could look at is that while a lot of revolution has happened and evolution has happened, I think what AI was versus human, AI has now become AI and human. I think that's a mind shift, which has already happened, and it's an important mind shift. While questions around whether AI is going to replace human still stays very alive in all our minds, and time and again, I think it becomes one of the town hall topics. That you're getting AI. Is AI going to replace the entire team? Are we going to be really, retrenching people? So these are some of the very practical questions which we face. And these are some hot conversations which happens in the town halls, and very, 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 very predictive questions.
Sure.
But it's important as leaders to understand that AI definitely in our mind is not something that will replace human, but it will assist human actually. Sure. So I'll give you a very typical example. We are into gaming.
Yeah.
Whenever the cricket season starts, our inquiries at our contact centers actually goes up by 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times.
Absolutely.
And it's very, very season based. So how I'm going to be just explaining that AI is not here to replace, but AI is here to assist. Because to get equivalent number of headcount for those 3 months is a task, and it's a difficult task. I can actually, in inverted commas, say that it's an impossible task to get people, get them trained, get them to the kind of quality that you would want them to be in.
Yeah.
So what helped us when we brought in AI into our lives? That we stopped troubling ourselves. Our AI chatbots started helping our customers there.
Sure.
And that is where I can proudly say that AI did not come into our lives to replace humans. It actually came into our life to assist humans. Sure. So we could go back and handle those 4 or 5 times 4x times of queries so seamlessly, so effortlessly, on time, taking care of these FRTs that we spoke about, how it went back and increased the loyalty of the players because they were getting their answers on time. So that's one of the most important example in our lives where we say that AI is not here to replace, AI is here to assist. again, looking at this particular example, this is only customer service centric,
Yes.
but I think AI is going to revolution the entire experience world.
Yeah.
Keeping customer service as one of the biggest pillar, I think is going to transform the entire experience world. How? When we talk about personalization, it is only personalization today. I think personalization plus reasoning is going to empower AI. When it talks about conversational AIs, I think agentic is it's going to be the future for tomorrow. When we talk about content creation, I think tomorrow it's going to be collab tools. When we talk about analytics, it is data analytics today. It's going to be predictive analytics tomorrow. When we talk about integrating data stacks, I think AI is going to really play a very important role. We are, as CX leaders, I think we always look forward to omni-channels.
Yes.
Omni-channels, while we built it, but today they are integrated to a large extent. But are they integrated? Hey, if I am going and asking something in the email channel, and I want to ask the same question in the chatbot channel, is the email channel integrated enough to pick it up from there and start the conversation at the chatbot? So that's the transformation that we are looking forward to. I think the other one which we're looking forward to is the enhanced data securities.
Yes.
How it's going to really play a critical role in the data securities. Two more things comes to my mind is that I think while we are into this journey and mostly we are in love with this journey, there'll be a lot of conversations and protocols around the entire ethical AI.
That's a very important one.
Ethical AI and a lot of regulatory and governances, which the organizations, I think, even larger space would take forward. So according to me, I think these are some of the top of the mind future trends that comes to me, how AI is going to really transform. So AI for us is definitely never going to replace human. It's always going to assist human, but it's definitely going to improve the quality of experience that we give to our customers.
That's right.
So that's there in our mind.
You've summed it up really well, really talking about the future across different functions within the organization, how AI is going to play a very critical role. You touched upon security, ethical aspects of AI, integrating various AI systems, predictive analytics, all of that stuff. So I think that's a wonderful futuristic picture. But I think I really liked the use case that you have, right? And when there is a peak, when you really, there's a peak demand, how do you really manage that peak demand by not just linearly, adding humans? Right? You're actually using AI to make them 10x more productive, right? And pretty much manage it. So that's a really nice, good way to kind of manage the business. So wonderful. Also on that note, I think the time is pretty much up. We'll end, but just want to check if anybody has, like, maybe we can take one or two questions, from the audience. So if anybody has a question, feel free to ask one of the panelists.